Hey, what's up? This is the Ask Trainer Chris podcast, and we are on episode number 2, and we're talking about weightlifting today. Alright, so by now everybody knows that lifting weights is healthy for you, it's good for you, it's adding resistance, allowing you to build muscle on your frame. We all know that adding muscle helps you burn more calories, although it's really not that much. It's like 10 calories a day or something pretty small like that per pound of muscle. But it adds up, right? If you put 10 pounds of muscle on your frame, then you're talking an extra 100 calories a day. So it can add up. But weightlifting, I think, as widely known as it is, it started getting really big in the 70s. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger helped with that, in his popularity. And, weight training machines are in pretty much every health club, even the seniors and, all ages are using weights. I think they're very misunderstood, though. And I think, I'm going to start here. The first kind of misunderstood thing is toning. I want to lift weights to tone, as if, doing a bicep curl would start toning your biceps. And, that's actually not true. Toning is kind of a myth, because what tone is low body fat. Tone is low body fat. If you have some muscle, even if it's just a little bit, and you have low body fat, you will be toned. You will be able to see all those little striations of the muscle, or you'll be able to see your six-pack. And, but you can't target fat burn. You're not going to be able to pump your bicep, or if you have extra hip fat, get your glutes going a little bit and your hip fat will go away. That does not happen. So instead of those misnomers, I wanted to talk a little bit about what just a sensible weightlifting program looks like. Because sensible, I think, is the key word. I think so many people overdo the weight room. And I think one reason for that is that you skip a couple weeks, or even worse, a couple months, and then you are getting back to it, and you kind of want to make up for lost time, when in reality it doesn't really work like that. In that case, actually, if you haven't been in the weight room for a while, you actually want to do the opposite. You want to actually ease into it. You want to go slower. You want to back off a little bit. So basically, the weightlifting program that I would recommend, the sensible weightlifting program, is only 2 days a week. So you're doing like a Monday, Thursday, or a Tuesday, Friday, or a Wednesday, Saturday, something like that. Keeping in mind that you have 2 days of rest or more, so you have 2 or 3 actually days of rest in between each weightlifting session. Now the reason for this is not because necessarily your muscles take that long to recover, although sometimes it does. Sometimes they do take that long if you are typically more advanced into the game of weightlifting, because you're able to lift harder and you're causing a lot more damage to your body. But the other reason, really, even if you're not going super, super hard and it only takes you, let's just say hypothetically, it takes you exactly 46 hours to recover. Just a random number, but just a little bit under 2 days, let's say it takes you to recover. That doesn't mean that after the 46th hour, boom, I'm recovered, so let's beat myself up again. You want to spend at least some of your life fully recovered, fully, just feeling good. You don't want to always constantly be recovering from a workout. So give yourself a chance to enjoy your life. If, and if you fail to work out enough, you're still going to get stronger. Let's say you work out every 4 days, but you could theoretically do every 2 days. You're fine. Don't worry about that. What you want to do is more core work, more cardio. And I don't mean cardio like the machines. I mean cardio like go on a run, a walk, jump rope, stuff like that. Get your heart rate up. You don't need to lift weights that often. That leads me to the next thing, which is combining weights and cardio, which I particularly think is not a good idea unless you're doing such light weight. Well, you have to do such light weight if you're combining weights and cardio. If you turn weightlifting into conditioning, I'm talking to you, CrossFit and Orange Theory. Guys, it kind of defeats the purpose. It's not building strength. You can show off what you can do, but I think it's incredibly dangerous, not to mention not as effective, You're tearing down muscle tissue super fast, not really paying as much attention on form because you're just trying to do more and more and more. But yeah, ideally, really, you should be taking long rest intervals. You want to make sure that as you lift, you're about to lift something that maybe you've only lifted a couple times in your life, and you want your heart rate to be down. You want your muscles to be fresh. You don't want to be completely taxed out. If you're going to do cardio, do cardio. If you're going to do weights, do weights. Don't mix them. And that's just my personal opinion. Obviously, tons and tons of people mix them, and they're super healthy. I just think that's setting yourself up for an epic fail with the weight. And failing, if you're about to lift a weight and you have serious doubts as to whether or not you can lift it, probably too heavy. Probably too heavy. You want to be so certain. I mean, even if you just jumped up in weight, hopefully you didn't jump up more than 5 pounds since last time. But last time, okay, I did 5 sets of 5, and I did this weight, 100 pounds, let's say. And it was very comfortable, fairly comfortable. I was very confident. It was very doable. And so this time, based on that information, this time I'm going to try 105 pounds. Now, even though you're fairly confident that you can do this, it's still out of your range. You've never done it before. But because it was so easy doing the 100, then you're able to move up to 105. That's another thing. You only need to progress when you're really good. You've really mastered the previous weight. You don't need to progress if you're still struggling, right? So, obviously this is a short podcast, and I could go on. Really, we could build a whole course about weightlifting, which I think I should, actually, now that I talk about it. But one more thing I wanted to finish up with, the sets and reps scheme. How many reps, how many sets do you do? I think in general, if you have for each exercise, your total number of reps should be about 20 to 30. And if you're just beginning and you really want to work on form, it could even be a little bit more. And how you split up those reps and sets, I think, is really important, because the more you get into it, the more of a veteran you are, the fewer reps you can do at one time. And if the reps go down, then the intensity goes way up, because you're able to do a higher percentage of your total, like your actual weight, your maximum weight. So let's chew on this, for example. Let's say when you start, you do more reps per set. You might do one set of 30 reps. That's cool. One set of 30 reps. It's pretty easy. Takes you a while to get to the point where you're getting fatigued. It might be toward like the 25th, 28th rep. And you feel, I feel a little burn. And the reason for that is not because you're so amazing yet, but it's because you're using a light weight. And you want to use a light weight. I was talking to a buddy of mine who was a power lifter for many years, and he said for 6 months to a year, they would use broomsticks. For the beginners, they would just use broomsticks. And here are these like 14-year-old guys who thought, give me some weight, give me some weight. Nope, broomsticks. The coach wouldn't let them do any more than a broomstick for 6 months to a year. So you're doing a lot of reps. You're highly focused on form. You're not getting that fatigued at the end. Now, this person might actually be able to lift 3 days a week, maybe 4 days a week, because you're not getting that sore. You're not really causing that much damage. Now, as you progress, you're intermediate. Maybe you break the sets down into like sets of 10, sets of 12, something like that, and still really paying attention to form. And you might do 2 or 3 sets. And then as you progress and you get much more advanced, I really recommend doing like the, Reg Park, who was actually Arnold Schwarzenegger's idol. Reg Park, so he's not around anymore, but he did 5x5, and basically his version of 5x5 was you do 2 progressively heavier warm-up sets, and then you do 3 working sets at the same weight. So let's say you do 100 pounds for the first set, 110 for the second, and then 120, 120, 120 for the third, fourth, fifth. Something like that. You're only doing 5 reps. You're never hitting failure, never hitting muscle failure, or very rarely, I should say, hitting muscle failure. Even with this, it seems like, oh my gosh, you're going to overload the muscle so much, it's so much weight. You're still progressing slowly, you're still being sensible with it. Overall, weightlifting is about feeling better. if you feel absolutely smashed after your workouts, you're probably going too hard or you're under recovering. And also you have to ask yourself, what is your actual goal? Are you trying to kill yourself, or are you trying to actually get stronger? Okay, last piece of advice. Don't get too carried away with results. Don't get too carried away with how much weight you lift. And the way to really get this, the way to really wrap your mind around this, is long-term goals. Right now as I record this, it's early November 2016. And I've been thinking all weekend about really what are my goals for weightlifting and kind of bulking up and stuff. The goal that I'm thinking of is a little bit longer range. It's about 13 months, I guess, 13, 14 months. So like end of December, end of the year 2018. So it's a full year out. And I'm structuring my goal where I have a very modest strength goal, and I'm dividing that up month after month, or into 12 or 14 months, whatever it is. And just very small progress over the course of that little over a year. And another thing too is I'm actually trying this out. I'm not even thinking about progressing mid-month. What I'm going to do is go the full month at the same weight, really master it, really get good at it, and then consider progressing to the next weight. Safety is number one importance, right? If you injure yourself, you're done. You're done for months, possibly years, possibly the rest of your life, really, if you think about it. So, when you go to lift that 200 pounds, make sure that you have the body of a person that can lift 200 pounds of whatever that is. And if you don't, then perhaps you need more food, more reps at the lower weight, whatever it is. But, be sensible, have fun, of course, but, don't do anything crazy. Like, there's really nothing new under the sun. You don't need to combine cardio and weights to get some crazy new exercise program. Just stick to the basics and have fun and do your stuff. All right? Let strength be strength. Let cardio be cardio. Let core be core. You don't need to combine all of them all the time. All right. Any questions you have, give me a call. I'm on the Anchor app, and it's cool. You can call in like a voicemail, leave a question, and I'll answer your question in the next podcast. All right. See ya.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.